What's up, you guys?
I am beyond excited for today's episode because my baby boy is finally here and I get to tell you all about his birth story and the past 5 months living with him.
What a dream, what a joy. Every day's a new discovery. Let's talk about it.
My son was born in Lake Tahoe and we actually had
So
to
was
get
mine, my son too.
My son, I can't believe I've been able to say that for the last 5
And
months.
you say it just like that, my
son.
I don't know about anybody else's kid,
My son. Comment below if you have a son or if you have a daughter and you're just like, my daughter, I'm just so in love with him.
Yeah.
And it's been such a dream to be able to say out loud, my son, that I savor every moment.
You
I
do.
have to be honest, I felt that way when we first got married and I could say my husband.
My husband, my wife, yeah.
But this is like that on another level.
Oh,
Sorry.
really?
I'm like, this is like that, but like on a whole other level. Lana, do you have any footage of the car? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so guys, she flew to Reno with 6 maletas, dropped them off at the hotel, went and got her whooping cough vaccine, got back on a plane, and literally came to meet me. We stayed up till super late doing the last little bit of packing. I just think we were so excited that we couldn't sleep. And we were like putting things away and figuring out like how to fit all of what was left over.
Well, I packed the truck originally, and then me and Demetrius packed it, and it wasn't ideal.
No,
from what I
say
understand.
the truth. Say the truth. How did you pack that car? We let 2 men pack the Range Rover. It was like somebody just went like this and threw everything in.
No, there was we actually did it like
methodically,
but we were limited as to what we could do. We needed a couple women, and you guys figured it out.
So we had to completely unpack the Range Rover and repack it and figure out how to make everything fit and still drive safely to Reno. So July 28th, Lana and I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. We made sure the last few things we had to throw in the car were there, and we headed to Reno. Lana drove for 30 minutes, and then we pulled over to a gas station to get water and a few snacks, and I drove the rest of the way. I was not scared. I was not nervous. There was just this overwhelming peace and like excitement that I was just like, hands on the wheel, we are going to see my baby. And I had been waiting for this for the last 9 months and just anticipating what that last little stretch would be before I'd actually see my baby. And I just remember being overwhelmed with joy when we finally got to the hotel. We pulled up, we had a plan to stay in Reno for the first 5 days we were there, and then on the first week.
Yeah.
The first week, and then on August 5th, we were heading to the house that we rented with Airbnb in Lake Tahoe, which was absolutely stunning. We had a home for myself and my family, and we also had a home for my surrogate and her beautiful family.
As a family, of course, we all rolled together. We had the best week, like with this sense of anticipation every night. If the phone rang, you're like, what's happening? So living on the edge of that all week was amazing. It was sort of like just a perpetual, I don't know.
It felt like a bachelorette
rehearsal
party
dinner, right?
Because we were in Reno staying in this incredible hotel with like a pool, a spa, a huge casino, and all these amazing restaurants. So every night felt like a celebration, like the last hurrah before I become a mom and before like obviously we hunker down. Is that how you say that? Hunker down?
Hunker down.
Hunker down. Before we hunker down with the baby, I don't know, like we got dressed up in the evenings, right? And
we made a thing out of it.
Yeah.
It was an event every night.
We would have so much fun. Israel was the first to arrive. You were flying in from
Dallas, and I got a rental car.
Yes.
In preparation for the whole family.
We went back to the hotel, dropped some of your stuff off, and then we came back to bring the entire caravan of the family, which was my mom, Papa Joe, Papi Lindo, Claudette, Jerd, Jet, Bo, And then the following day, Mariah arrived.
Yeah.
So that was like the whole crew, obviously. How many is that all together? Lana, Adrian, Israel, Nilda, Joe, Freddie, Claudette, Jerd, Jet, Bo, Mariah.
11.
I did not realize it was 11 of us until right now. That's pretty special. Okay, so 11 of us spent the first week just having so much fun, kind of just waiting, but at the same time celebrating. And then on August 5th, it was our checkout day to head to our incredible Airbnb in Lake Tahoe. If you don't know, Reno is 45 minutes away from Lake Tahoe. So it's pretty close. You literally could drive from one side to another. And we were packing up our things. And funny enough, Israel and I had a suite at the hotel that we were staying at. And there was a jacuzzi in the middle of the room. So it was a little old school.
Think early 80s.
It was a vibe.
Yeah.
But I had been dying laughing and talking about this the whole week, and Jet and Bo had been saying, oh my gosh, we want to swim in your jacuzzi, Titi. Can we come to your room on the last day and swim? And I was like, absolutely. Claudette was like, no, Adrian, it's fine. Like, she had been telling them no, and I'm like, persistent, no. Before we check out, they definitely can come in their bathing suits and swim. You actually headed out to...
Get a beard trim.
Or did you go to the gym?
No, I went to get a beard trim.
This is the
I'd gone to
morning.
the gym in the morning.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So the morning of August 5th, Israel headed out to the gym, and then from the gym, you were already packed. You packed up
Ready
your
to
things.
go, yeah.
You actually came up and packed up your things when Jet and Bo got there to swim in the pool.
That's right.
So Jet and Bo arrived to swim in the jacuzzi in our room with Claude. They had their little bathing suits on. Israel's packing up his last things. And you headed out to go find a good barber. Grab coffee and go to the barber. And then you were gonna meet us up right when we were ready to head out. And I got a phone call from my surrogate, and she was like, I just made a bowl of oatmeal, and like I dropped the plate. I don't know why I like need to lay down. I feel different. Like I just feel funny. And you know, I've always told you that I'm gonna be honest with you and like give you the heads up, but I don't wanna worry you. And I told her, and I always promised you that I would never bring nervous energy to the situation. So I'm very calm, and I'm like, okay, so what are you feeling? She's like, I don't know. I just dropped the bowl. And she's like, my husband's here, like I'm gonna try to lay down. And I said, let's call our midwife, because my birth plan was to have a home birth. My surrogate is absolutely incredible and just strong and just a superhero in my opinion, because this would be her 5th delivery with no, she's never used any epidural and has always had vaginal births, and she actually just loves the experience of birthing, and I just think that's incredible. I don't hold anything against anyone who does use an epidural. I just think it's awesome that she thinks it's this amazing experience, and she loves to feel it all. So hearing that from my surrogate, crazy enough, she asked us one day, she's like, would you guys ever consider a home birth? Because I don't use epidurals, and this is like a very, she was kind of saying it was a very zen experience for her. And she was like, I've heard of people doing it in their homes. Would you ever consider that? And I've got to be honest, I was like, yes. Because
immediately we were like, especially in the day and age we're living in.
Yeah.
With COVID, it's like limited who can come into the room and all of that. Everything beeping, the nervousness of being in a hospital, we've all been there at some point. To be able to say we can have whoever we want, it's gonna be chill, play
and
the
we
music
get to
you want.
set the tone and the environment that our child gets to be born into.
We were both like, absolutely, yes.
And when we would talk about if it was my body and if I ever got the chance to give birth, that was what I wanted.
Top of the list, yeah.
We always said we wanted a water birth.
Water
like we
birth,
would dream up like, oh my God, you know, when we were trying to get pregnant in my body, that's what we wanted. We wanted a natural home birth, water birth. So just for her to be able to ask that, it kind of felt full circle, because that's what I've always dreamed of. And so we were like, absolutely. So we had a midwife on board ready to go. And we were like, let's give her a call. She's gonna talk to you. Let's see what she says. At that point, she says, I talked to the midwife. She says that she thinks I'm okay, that I just need to rest, because she also still does have 2 younger children that she's caring for, her own kids. And I'm sure that, that can be a lot going on. So she was like, okay, I'm just gonna rest. So I talked to the midwife and she's like, if it would make you feel better, let's send the midwife over there and just to go check on her. And I'm like, okay, great. That actually would bring me so much peace, just to have somebody check on her physically, in person, make sure she's all good. And we're gonna quickly pack up our stuff so that we can head to Lake Tahoe. There was this moment, you were already on your way because you had left earlier. I had your bags, and then I still had a few things that I had to pack. And Claude was like, okay, let's get the girls out of the jacuzzi and let's actually start to move. And I was like, yeah, I do think that's a good idea. And Claude could just see in my face that I think it's natural to just be nervous and at the same time a little overwhelmed. And you can plan for something, in our case for 6 years, and you can map it out exactly how you think it's gonna be. And it never really goes that way. I've never heard anyone have a birth story that goes exactly the way they planned it, but it was important for me to have perspective and not allow any of those tiny things to get in the way of my overall joy and happiness. And I love that I have a sister that can she knows me so well. She was able to read that, yeah. She was like, I know that it seems like a lot is going on, because we thought we'd get to Tahoe and still had like
a week,
yeah. But at the same time, when Claude said this to me, it shifted everything. Because for a second I was just like, you get like, I'm not packed. Should I go there right now? Like, Israel's getting a head shave, a beard trim, and I'm like, the girls are literally standing there freaking doggy paddling in the jacuzzi. It just felt like a lot going on. I also have an 82-year-old dad who I kind of need to make sure it was a lot going on. And Claude looked at me and goes, hey, you might meet your baby boy today. And I lost it. Like, I could cry about it right now. I literally got so emotional, and I just was like,
that's
oh
all
my
that
God,
matters.
that's all that matters. That's all I've ever wanted. And so they ended up leaving, and I had like this quiet moment with myself in the room. I actually, for moms out there, you can love your husband to death, and I absolutely do. But I actually was glad that like you weren't there, and I had like this just me moment in the hotel room by myself. I prayed. I put on this little worship playlist that I had put together. Comment below if you'd like to hear my little worship playlist.
It's a good one.
And especially if you're pregnant, I can only imagine how important those last few quiet moments are. It's probably the last moment you'll be alone, and you're not even alone if your baby's in your belly. But for me, I just needed that last little quiet moment just to say to God, like, thank you. Have a moment of gratitude, have a moment of being like, let your will be done, not mine. Like, however the day is gonna go, just be in control. Like, God, you be in control, not me in control. I'm just gonna go with it. And I listened to the music, and I also put on some makeup. I was like, girl, pull yourself together, because it might be happening today. And I was like, and even if it's not gonna happen today, you're still gonna look cute. Like, there's no downside to brushing your eyebrows. So I remember I sat there, I slicked my hair back. I had on a workout outfit because I was supposed to go work out after the girls left. That ended up not happening because we were now kind of just bullseyeing it to get to my surrogate and my baby.
I was in the barber chair, minding my own business. They said, hey, the surrogate is feeling something, we're not quite sure. And I was like, just keep me posted, but we're all kind of
super chill.
Everybody's chill, because we have a plan.
We're even thinking that this just might be Braxton Hicks, which is like pretty much your body practicing what your real contractions are gonna feel like. And so we're kind of like we know that it's gonna happen soon, but I don't think anyone is like, it's happening right now. So you certainly
I have shaving cream on half my face, half my head, and the next ding on my phone is her water broke. And I'm like,
And we are in the car.
so I send a picture of myself like,
You guys gotta see this.
this is my current situation. So I finally get out of the barber chair, waiting for an Uber. Took a while to get the Uber. I finally get in and I'm like bribing this guy like, can you please drive as fast as you possibly can? I gotta get here. I got a baby coming, let's go. And we were in it together. It was quite an adventure. And she's like, please don't miss this. You don't understand, we're gonna be there in 2 minutes. I'm like, I'm 12 minutes out. She gives birth so fast. What are we gonna do? I'm like, ask her to hold. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna get there as fast as I possibly can.
And we were on this family group chat. I absolutely loved that. Like her mom was on the chat, my mom's on the chat. Literally, our families came together, and she obviously wasn't on her phone. She started feeling contractions. Her water broke, like Israel said. We got that. We got the news that her water broke literally in the car on the way to her. And like is said, I was 2 minutes away. He was 12 minutes away. We had 2 car caravans. In my car was, Lana was driving, I'm in the passenger seat, my sister Claudette, and my mom. And then the other car was Jerd, Papi Lindo, Papa Joe,
girls,
Jet Bo, and Mariah. And so they were on their way separately from us. They actually, didn't they stop somewhere? Oh, they waited for our baggage.
At the hotel.
Left. Yeah, they were waiting for the bags at the hotel. We left, and I will never forget this. We had it in the, I was in the car, honestly, kind of nervous. They say the water broke, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And her mom on the group chat was like, I hope you make it, sweetie. And I was like, please don't say that. Like, what do you mean you hope I make it? Because in the past, she
notoriously,
literally like no more than 30 minutes after her water breaks. So we're like, we gotta get there.
Ready to receive whatever thoughts I drop into it. Rest in my sufficiency as you consider the challenges this day presents. Do not wear yourself out by worrying about whether you can cope with the pressures. Keep looking at me and communicating with me as we walk through this day together. Take time to rest by the wayside, for I am not in a hurry. A leisurely pace accomplishes more than hurried striving. Oof. Sorry, when you rush, you forget who you are and whose you are. Remember that you are royalty in my kingdom. Ever's gonna come when he is ready to come.
Now, it's raining at
wow.
12:15.
Exactly 3 hours before he came.
At 12:15, the water broke, and I was just sitting there like, and again, Claude is like, hey, do you have like a playlist? And I had an Ever James playlist that had songs like Sweet Baby James by James Taylor. It had on it, what other songs?
You and Me on the Rock?
You and Me on the Rock, Brandy Carlisle, This Time Tomorrow, like all of our songs. And that kind of just got me calm, but then it started raining. And it was like raining really hard. And we had in our GPS, obviously, what the address was to her place, but because it was raining, we actually ended up driving past it. And do you remember? You reversed up the block. Lana went past the house. I said, Lana, go, zzz, and I jumped out the car, ran in, and I'm like, is everything okay? Like, but I had to be calm again, because that was what I had promised her, that I wasn't gonna be nervous energy, that I was going to be her peace in this situation. And so we got in. Iz and I had matching outfits. We had like these amazing Skims robes. I had like an actual Skims little shorts and a black top, because for a lot of people that don't know, one of the most important things during the birth of a child is the skin to skin that happens right when they're born. When a child comes out of a woman's body, they usually put the baby right on the mom's chest. And in this case, I still wanted that. Like, that is one of the first ways you bond with your baby, is putting your skin on their skin, and they feel your heartbeat and they smell you and just all of that. That's why they usually like the mom to be bare chest, because they can have more of that action. So I wanted to have something on that was gonna be easy to remove. So just like a bra and a robe that I could drop the bra if I needed to and kind of put the baby on. Okay, so I changed into my little Skims outfit, and now it is time for her to start pushing. Like, pretty much right away, she is ready to bear down and push.
Well, I arrived sort of expecting, like, because there was probably 5 minutes toward the end that like nobody was saying anything to me. So I'm thinking to myself, it's happening. Like, what am I
Really?
missing?
Did you think that?
Oh, I was panicked. Panicked.
Really?
Yeah, so all I could do was just pray, like, God, just make sure everything goes the way
Yeah.
it's supposed to go. So I kind of come bursting into, it's fine, everybody's okay.
Who was in the room in the little cove that we were in? She birthed in the living room, and we had like
you
a
were in
side
and out of
cove.
there, and then the
Lana was in there
doula,
with you, and Mariah?
Mariah eventually came in there.
Yeah.
But for a minute, it was just me, Nilda, and I think Lana.
Okay.
So I changed real quick.
Yeah.
And then, they just said when it kind of becomes obvious, then I could come out, and I stood sort of behind.
So while Israel was kind of chilling and just waiting, we labored with her. So in there with my incredible surrogate was myself, my sister, who is a labor and delivery nurse, my mom, her support, who I absolutely love, her husband, our 2 doulas. We actually had a doula for myself and a doula for her, which is more of just like an emotional support person there that we needed, someone to help us if we needed anything, and then our midwife who was there for obviously medical reasons. And I can't explain just what a rock star, the love that I have for my surrogate, and just how grateful I am for what a gift,
Yeah.
and the greatest gift that she's given us. So as she's laboring, she's just incredibly strong, and just, literally we can start seeing his head and like his hair. And at that point I start saying, somebody go grab Israel. And so who grabbed you?
The doula came in and grabbed me and said, it's time, come on. Walked me around. I had a little camera, we had music playing, and it happened quickly.
Israel actually recorded music for the baby, and it's crazy because I had never heard the music, and it was just what was playing in the background of her pushing, and I didn't notice until we watched our videos back that as he's coming out, the song playing was "My God, How Great You Are." So it's just this beautiful instrumental music in the background, and Claudette is standing directly behind her. Israel is on this side of her. Her husband is right behind you. My mom is right behind me because I am at her feet, just
Ready.
waiting to pull Ever out. And in that moment, I'm like looking at our midwife and I'm like, I can grab him, because the head comes out first, obviously. And you guys, I could see his whole face. I feel like nobody explains this. Like, a baby's face is born before their whole body. And sometimes the face is just there for a while they're pushing out, which I believe is the hardest, getting the little shoulders out. So his little face is there, and I'm literally telling Israel, I can see his whole face. And it was like a baby, like a whole little human face. He had features and and he had so much hair that we did not expect, because a lot of people have asked, like, obviously they don't know, if you don't know my story and you just see me randomly at the grocery store with my brand new baby, everyone is like, you must have had heartburn, girl. And so I asked her, I'm like, did you have heartburn? And she actually said no. So we were shocked at how much hair he had. And I'm crying because I can literally see his whole face. And this is what I didn't realize. They're like, okay, you're gonna pull him out. And I'm like, how? Like, I didn't think about it. I didn't think to ask, how do I pull him out? Like, I'm not gonna pull him by the head. Do I pull his shoulders? Like, it was just bizarre. So you'll see in this video here of me,
What do I do?
my first moments, I'm literally like, what do I
Can
what
we
do? I
do
do?
that?
Like, do I just grab him? Like, I see him there, like, and it was just the most incredible moment of my whole life.
Thank you, Lord. Oh, it's your baby. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. love you so much. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Amazing. Can you get some ice, please?
Ice tray?
Oh, he's perfect.
Perfect.
Yes!
I want to hear that.
I love you so much.
Her reaction was so unpredictable. Like
I didn't know what to
I don't think she knew what she was going to do,
No.
and we didn't know what she was going to do. But it was so pure. Like you just kept saying, "I love you, I love you, I love," and I could fall apart recounting that. But your reaction, I'll never forget, ever in my life.
I like ugly cried, and I didn't know, like, it's so weird how in those moments you kind of, the world shuts out and you're just like in the moment.
Yeah.
I only know certain things that happen because I either remember them or watching the video. Like watching the video back, I love the moment when like you and mom hug each other and you guys are just like having like a victory moment of like, oh my God, he's here.
He's here, he's healthy, he's safe, it's
Yeah.
great.
And I remember grabbing him and I didn't even realize I was saying, I love you, I love you. I did not know that I was doing that until I saw the video and I'm like, this is cringy, but everybody has their moment. Like I ugly cried and I'm just like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm just saying it over and over again, but in the moment I didn't even know I was doing that. One of the things I do remember is grabbing him, putting him on my chest, and this little boy lifting his whole head up
Looking around like, who
and
else is
looking
in
around
here?
the room like, what y'all been doing out here? Like just looking around. And I literally—
Strongest neck.
The strongest
The
neck.
midwife was like, that's rare. Like, we don't see that.
I say in the video, is he supposed to be doing that? Because he was like, what's going on out here? Where the party at? And it was, I mean, there's moments of nervousness as well because I didn't know what to expect. And he was like a very purple color. And they just kept telling me, just rub him. He didn't cry for a really long time, and that made me a little nervous because I'm just like, I kept asking the midwives and the doulas, I'm like, is he okay? Are you sure? Is he okay? Is he okay? And then
And they were super calm. They're like, he's fine.
they're like, he is totally fine. One of the things I didn't know was he was like this very lavender, eggplanty color, like between those colors. They explained to me that when a baby has a little bit of a darker skin tone, he'll lean more of like a purple eggplanty color, and that babies that are gonna be more fair turn like very red. And so I was like, oh, okay. I was like, God's answering my prayers. Come on, melanin, come through. Because at first when you see a baby that's that purple, you can get nervous that you think they're lacking oxygen or something like that. And they totally assured me that he was fine immediately. Lana nicknamed him Vampirina. I did not find that funny. And I'm like, don't call him that. But it was, looking back at the pictures, we're like, he was full on Vampirina purple. One of the things that was really important to us was cord banking. If you've never looked into it, I highly recommend researching cord banking. We did cord and tissue with CBR, which is Cord Blood Registry. And it's so crazy because for the whole weeks before, we were walking around with this box at room temperature. Literally, imagine being in a casino, at the bar, and you're just walking perpetually around with this like box. And in the moment, we were like, finally, we get to use this thing we've been walking around with. And it's actually super easy to do. My sister is a labor and delivery nurse, and she did it for her children as well. So she was super familiar. And Claude did the cord banking. And then it was Israel's turn to cut the umbilical cord.
That was so awesome.
Yeah?
Yes, what an experience.
How, what, like what?
I mean, I think you said it best. Like, when it's happening, everything else in the world is sort of shut out, and you're just so zoomed in and zenned in. And I had the same kind of experience getting to cut the cord and like, welcome to the oxygen that we all share. Let's go.
So crazy. And in that moment, they literally told me his skin color was gonna change. They literally said that the moment that they cut the cord, we literally saw
Watched it.
From his toes up, color come into his body. Like you can see the red like come into, and that was so
That was amazing.
wild.
Amazing.
And literally while that all went by so quickly, the news was arriving to the rest of my family outside. So in that moment after my mom hugged you, she sent a message to our family group chat, and it said, Ever James is here. And the girls and my dads were outside, and Jerd were outside in the car and kind of just hanging out outside by the car, in the car. And Jet has a Apple Watch, and she left it in the car, and Bo was sitting in there. So funny enough, nobody else received the message first. The person that got the message was Bo, who saw it on Jet's watch, and she
Screamed
comes out of the van and is screaming, Ever's here, Ever's here. And she announced it to everybody. And at that moment, they watched me walk, like, you could see through the window that I walked from where my surrogate was to our private room, like a little cove that we had for our family to meet him. And I walked over and I saw her out the window, and she was like, and we walked in, and literally the whole family got to meet him minutes after he was born, which that to me was the most incredible part about having a home birth, is really allowing everybody that's been on this journey with me to be a part of that experience. So Mariah was taking like pictures with her camera. She was capturing the moments. Lana, who literally has given me injections to create this boy, was there. My mom obviously had been there. Papi Lindo, getting to see his first grandson.
Wow.
Just like those moments, the excitement of Jet and Bo, just looking at him, Jerd holding his godson, like the whole family was there. And I remember they allowed us to do skin on skin for like, we sat there, what, 2
was a
hours?
while, yeah.
2 hours before he was weighed and any of that stuff. He was just on me. And at some point they're like, okay, let's weigh him now. And that's the first time he cried. So maybe it was like an hour.
Yeah.
Like an hour later, they weighed him and he cried for the first time. We have that video here. And then it was like, it's time for us to go to our house. And he was born at 3:15 on a rainy afternoon.
And 3 hours
On a
later,
Friday.
3.5 hours later, we
were
bundled him up and drove to our house.
Guys, it's crazy because my sister, who is a labor and delivery, she was like, don't take off the vernix. Vernix is like that white gunk that's all over them. And she was like, you do not
Leave
have to
all
wash
that,
that off. You can actually keep it on him.
It's really good for their
It's
skin.
actually
and nutrients.
amazing for their skin. We cared for him all throughout the night. And then when we woke up the next day, it had kind of been absorbed,
into his skin, yeah.
which was so wild.
Which we're told is actually really great.
Somebody said to take it and like put it
Yeah.
on your eyes. They said it's liquid gold.
I think what's awesome is anybody who gives birth in a hospital, I think anyone, right?
Yeah.
They keep them overnight. Is that true?
Yeah.
You're going to stay an extra day.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't have to do that.
No,
like,
we're out.
We can go from one Zen experience to another at our
Yeah.
house. And it was amazing.
And I love that she was being cared for as well. That like there was, a team rallied around her to make sure that she felt good, that she felt awesome. I also thought it was incredible that because she had natural birth, she was up and walking around
Chilling,
and hanging out
yeah.
with us. And it was just the most beautiful experience, and I would have it no other way. My biggest takeaway from this experience, obviously, is the undescribable love that I have for my son and my husband and this new little family that I have. But also, one of the greatest lessons is that even if it doesn't go the way you imagined it, I never imagined that this would be my birth story. I never imagined that I would say that instead of my child coming out of my own body, I pulled my baby out of someone else's. Like that still sounds insane to me, but I wouldn't have it any other way because it's our story, and I think it's the most beautiful because we've lived it and we've been there, and like it's just there's nothing like it. It's ours.
It's ours. And I want to go back to something you said that Claude said earlier. And I feel like everybody needs to take a moment and absorb that. Like the thing that you're really after and the waiting for and have prepared for and been praying for and believing for is the most important thing.
How you get there.
All the other stuff is going to do its best to serve that. But, you know, even some of the greatest moments of our life ever have always, you know, been met with like, it didn't go exactly how I expected it to go, but thank God it went the way it did, and we're grateful. So
I heard a saying that says the things that hurt us the most in life is the idea of how it was supposed to be.
Wow.
And if you hold on to that, like, oh, it was supposed to be like this, but it was supposed to be me. It was supposed to be my body. It was supposed to be my maternity shoot. It was supposed to be my, right? I would be missing out on what is the greatest joy of my life.
Right.
Like what has been just the most beautiful moment of my entire life. And with that being said, I want you guys to meet Ever James. Say hi.
Ever James, say, what's up, you guys?
Say, what's up, you guys? What's up? So guys, this is Ever James. Say hi. Say hi, Ever James. Ever James. He's like, what is going on? He just woke up from a nap.
Why are you so chill? Why are you so
Is
mellow and
the
happy?
most peaceful baby. I don't know if God was up in heaven just like, look, this girl has
Let me
gone
give
through
him a
enough.
break, yeah.
She been through some things. We should.
He sleeps very well, takes to a schedule very well.
Yeah.
Wakes up, when he wakes up the second time in the morning, he'll wake up and entertain himself for
And he's so
5-10
giggly.
minutes, yeah.
And like laughs nonstop. Like if you guys have not seen this video that I posted on my Instagram, he cracks up if I sing like just random crazy songs to him. So you already know as a mom, I'm doing the most. I'd be doing choreography, singing for him, dancing, doing everything I can to get little laughs out of
His
him.
big belly laugh is, he does
So
not little
funny.
laughs at all. They're big laughs.
Comment below who you think Ever looks like, because I think it's important. I think it's important that we show what I looked like as a little baby, because I think people think he just looks like you is. And
That's just the cheeks.
And I disagree.
I agree. I think he looks more like you.
No, I think he looks more like you, obviously, but he really is a mix.
I think he's a nice combo platter of us both. What do you think?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I am so happy that I got to share Ever James' birth story with all of you. Comment below if you had a birth plan that went exactly the way you planned it.
Or not.
Or not. Let us know. It took so much faith for us to create our familia, and I really do recognize that not only is he such a blessing, but I really do recognize that there are families that this kind of journey isn't realistic for them on a financial level. And because of that, we wanted to start the Faith and Familia Foundation.
Yes.
Just to give people an opportunity to find out what their options are. A lot of people don't have the finances to have fertility treatments, and we hopefully want to be a blessing to those people out there. So make sure that you check out the description of this episode for more information on the Faith and Familia Foundation. We love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to follow, comment, and hit the notify button, right?
Yes,
What he said.
tell him. Tell him. Yeah. Here you go.
Woo.
And it's nap time. Let's go.